Feelings are the fuel of what we magnetize to us. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step breakdown on how you can change your self-image. The reason changing your self-image is so important is because you're always going to get a reflection in your life of who you are being. And your self-image is that defining part, who you see yourself to be, which is going to produce the thoughts and going to produce the feelings. And according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, your thoughts and your feelings are your state of being. That's what's getting sent out into the universe, into the quantum field, and you've been getting a reflection of that equal counterpart. That's both what you are conscious of in terms of your self-image, as well as what you're unconscious of. And if you watch until the end of this video, it's going to show you how you can start becoming aware of how you see yourself. What is your internal thermostat in terms of what you deserve, how you're supposed to act, and how others are supposed to treat you. In the terms of Neville Goddard, this would be the law of assumption. Whatever assumption you're looking through, that's the only thing you're going to be able to perceive of. As you start understanding what your self-image is, you can actually start to change it. And when you do, it's going to change what you're able to see, which can dramatically change your life. So let's get started. The one big thing to understand about your self-image, it's not so much about what you're conscious of. A lot of it could be what you're actually not conscious of, not being aware of how much something in the past is affecting your current day situation. Now, this isn't some doomsday that says, oh no, whatever's happening to me in the past, it will always affect me because I can't change that it happened. It's understanding that you did not have the tools you needed to process the shit that happened, so you're stuck there. You as an adult do have the tools, but you've got to be able to become aware of what's happening. So if you right now are having a situation where you're applying for a job and no matter what happens, you keep getting denied, that thing that you perceive as bringing you more safety or security or meeting a need is being kept from you. You work really, really hard and you try to prove it and it's getting kept from you. The way you're seeing yourself, the energy that you're projecting out is actually started from an event of the past. So say it's 4 years old, something happened, an event. Your 4-year-old self made an interpretation of your worth, your value, and your access and ability to have your needs met, right? Maybe it was a parent at the time, and you really wanted to bond and connect with this parent, as you should. That's what you do as a kid. You need that nourishment. So you wanted to connect and bond, but maybe that caregiver was so focused on their jobs and whatever they were doing, regardless of whatever intentions they had, and they weren't emotionally available to you. And maybe when you did something good, they would cheers you, and then you thought, oh, when I achieve, that's when I get connection. So I've got to earn my worth. So present day, you are relating to yourself and seeing this through the values of this 4-year-old, 5-year-old self. The more you start to become aware of the energetics and how they're connected to the past, then you can actually start breaking the cords, because you did not have an ability to choose something else. You were literally, this was all your only option. You couldn't make a different choice. You also did not have the complex thinking you do as an adult. You didn't have tools to unpack heavy emotions, but you do now. So what you can do is start to just become aware, because these unconscious things are the things that are actually blocking you. Not being aware of how you actually see yourself, because the first part of changing your self-image is actually understanding what your self-image is. How the events of the past are heavily influencing what you're able to perceive of and what meanings and labels you're putting on situations. Your whole entire life. In my situation, I kept finding people who were emotionally unavailable, people who were unsure if they wanted to be with me or not. And so what I kept doing was trying to earn it, trying to earn it, trying to earn it. And also everything that happened, I looked through the lens of feeling like if I wasn't really good, if I didn't go and help people and make their lives better, then I was going to be abandoned. So I couldn't see what was actually going on real time. I was looking through the lenses of the past, and I was feeling powerless and stuck, that I wasn't okay unless they said yes, unless they would love me, that I was not whole and complete unless this thing outside of me could do it. Now, early on, That's true. As a kid, we're all vulnerable and powerless. We are stuck in this situation. However, as an adult, you've got to become aware of these old dynamics. Another situation, maybe it's about friendship. Maybe when you go out and you're trying to meet your friends, you feel left out a lot. Now, if you think about your past, maybe you had a sibling. Maybe you felt like there was a competition for your parents' attention. Maybe it was scarce and you felt like they got more than you did. So you'd look out and you'd see your sibling and your parents, and they would bond, and you felt left out. You were perceiving through your reasoning as a kid. So you could have thought, oh, if I was more, then I could be included, or I'm not enough, or they don't like me. So again, you look through every situation now. And that could be also coming up if you keep finding third parties. That could be platonic, or that could also be about work. Maybe the coworker always gets the accolades. What energy, how is that making you feel at the very bottom line? You feel rejected, you feel not good enough. Okay, what early on dynamic actually caused you to think that about yourself and kind of put an imprint energetically in your being? Because until you start to resolve this, until you say, oh my God, that had nothing to do with me. I was wonderful as a kid. I thought that I had done something wrong, and my misunderstanding of my worth in that situation is understandable because I was a child, but it wasn't accurate. So I don't have to keep feeling that way because it wasn't actually true. It was a subjective interpretation from a mind that wasn't very complex. And so as you start doing this and using your adult mind to look back here, this is how you actually gain empowerment. Because until you shift that, you're going to feel like a victim, that everything is happening to you and you have no ability to control it, not realizing that that is the mind of that child. So the more and more you become aware of how you actually see yourself now, the image you see of yourself, again, that powerless dynamic that you have no ability to control. Oh, okay, well, I know that's a childhood dynamic, because when I was a child, I really was powerless. So what other things happened? And most importantly, how did I feel? I felt rejected. I felt I had to earn it. I felt nothing I do was good enough. I felt like my ability to trust myself was compromised because my parents always questioned why I did certain things, and I felt like I was stupid or not capable. Oh my God, they were trying to look out for me. Or maybe they had their own bullshit, and they were actually the ones that didn't understand the brilliance of your ideas. The more you use your complex ability to look at things and look back, you can break the cycle. You can start liberating yourself by realizing you do have power. And when you make a new choice in the moment, start firing and wiring in a new way, which is going to change your brain structure, and you'll be actually able to perceive differently because you do not see with your eyes. You see with your brain. And as you're able to let go of the old stories and restructure it, you make a new choice in the moment, and your whole entire life will change. The second thing that's going to be very important for you to change your self-image is understanding who you need to be, not what you're going to get. And what do I mean by that? So oftentimes people are thinking, oh, I want to change my self-image so I can get that relationship. Oh, I want to change my self-image so I can get that amount of money. You're relating your current self-image to the end experience of that ideal version of you, but you're completely missing the self-image you need to have, the beliefs that you need to have, values that you need to have to get the what. When you focus on the end what, as you are now from your current self-image, you feel a separation. You feel like it's so far away and you can't relate to that you. Well, if you start focusing on the who, you need to feel whole and complete. Okay, well, what would that look like for me? How could I believe it were true that I am in whole and complete, that I don't need that relationship to feel whole and complete? Well, first, you're going to need to start valuing yourself, not when you get somebody in your life, but right now. And you might say, well, I don't even know how. I personally could not look at myself in the mirror years ago and say that I love you. It was such a resistance. I felt selfish. I felt weird. Who am I to say I love myself? I don't even have anybody else to love me in a romantic way. And there was always excuses because I was not identifying with somebody who was valuable, who was worthy. And I thought if I found somebody who would love me more than I love myself, then I would blossom into love. And that wasn't true. The way I got to self-love was actually through an abusive situation. Somebody literally physically attacked me, and I realized after that was over, oh my God, I've gotten to some degree that I valued myself so low that I allowed myself to be around somebody somebody who also valued me so low. And I do not think we ever manifest abuse or manifest that specific behavior, but I had to ask myself, how did I get into a situation where I found myself so open and so vulnerable to such terrible behavior? Because I wasn't valuing myself. I didn't deserve it. And yet I was so desperate that somebody else would love me. And if it wasn't this person, then who? And I clung on to that really, really tight because I wasn't understanding who I needed to be. I was so desperate and so fixated on what I wanted. Oh, a relationship. Okay. But I was still being in that old version of me, not understanding, wow, I really don't value myself. Wow, I really don't feel like I'm worthy. And rather than working on that, I kept doing all my energy on the what. So it's really important that you pull back from the outside world of, oh, if I had that thing, then I'd feel better. Oh, no. My life would feel good and important if this person was in my life, if I had that amount of money. The more you focus on what you need to believe about yourself, you can look at people who are already doing out in the world something similar. You can use your imagination. You can start literally practicing in your body what it would feel like. Feel value. For me, it was, okay, I know that if I keep rejecting myself, I could die. And I'm not okay with that. I am done with that old way. I refuse to abandon myself. And shifting that inside of me, that old way, I was done. And I had to be open to change, be open to do the work to change myself, focusing entirely on the who. And as a result, I found the what. But it wasn't in pursuit of the what. It was in pursuit of the who did I need to be? What did my self-image need to be? What did I need to let go of? And what did I need to step into? That's the second step. Now that you know what your current self-image is, what your self-image needs to be, now you've got to do the third step, which is be real time, which is when an outside stimulus happens, current day. If you get a situation where you're looking for a relationship and this person you start to like, they're not calling, they're not texting, there's no communication, you're going to have a moment. And this is where you can start to change who you are being by making a new choice, okay? There's a moment, right? Because whatever happens, this is a neutral situation. Everything that happens in our life is a neutral situation and we put a meaning on it. So this happens outside life stimulus event, moment. Now, if you're in your old self-image, you'll say, oh, the reason that they're not calling me is because I'm not worthy, because everyone always rejects me, because I don't really have value. Oh, look, more lack, I knew it, okay? So we know that's that original self-image. For me, it was. Or are you going to put the labels and meanings, because I know I'm worthy, that's my self-image, that is my thermostatic set point. I know I'm worthy, I know there's nothing but abundance in the universe, and I know that I am love and I'm deserving of love. Because this is the view I have of myself, I'm going to put a meaning and label that's in alignment with that image. So you have a choice here. And this choice, every single time you do it, you got to be aware of it. So what I've come up with for this third part is ABC. You've got the stimulus. First, you got to become aware. Okay, here's an event. It's neutral. Okay, what meaning am I going to put on it? I want to breathe, regulate my nervous system, because this might look like, oh God, there's threat, there's danger. So you got to be aware. Okay, here's an opportunity. I'm going to breathe. Okay, now I'm going to make a new choice. What self-image is that choice aligning with? Is it the old one or is it the new one? Every single time you do this, you're tapping into the power of neuroplasticity, that you get to fire and wire in a new way. And at first, it's going to be a little difficult. Your body's going to want to respond. I'm in threat. They're going to leave me. Everything bad's happening. I knew that. The story I'm telling myself is that all the bad stuff's going to happen, but I know that I'm worthy and I refuse to reject myself. This is literally what I did. And I started to say, I know I'm worthy. I know that I'm capable of love. I'm going to nurture myself. What do I need right now? I need some comfort. I need some connection. In this moment, you're not trying to delude yourself. You're not trying to suppress yourself. You're trying to start asking yourself the question, how can I take care of myself right now? What story am I going to tell myself? Am I going to be gentle and kind to myself? Or am I going to echo the past bullshit, maybe trauma that other people have caused on me? Take that energy and perpetuate it on myself. What you is going to interpret this situation? Again, awareness of the opportunity. Here's a new situation. Okay, I got a moment. This is neutral. Breathe. And now the choice. The new self-image or the old self-image. And if you have resistance of like, this person's obviously not calling me because I can't be worthy. If I was worthy, this person would want me. This person would be there for me. You don't know. This person might be an echo of the past. This person could be emotionally unavailable. And when you start being emotionally available to you, it will reject and push away the energies that you actually do not want anymore. You will not be attracted to that, but you'll open up energy to actually attract what you are looking for, because we are gigantic magnets, and we fuel that magnet by what feeling that we put in there. Feelings are the fuel of what we magnetize to us. And if you start becoming that ideal partner to yourself, you'll start bringing it to you. But if you say, oh, it's me, I must be not good enough, you're going to find people who actually agree with this, who treat you this way, who probably feel this way about themselves. And two people who don't feel worthy are not going to be able to come together and have a secure, loving relationship. It's going to have a lot of jealous dynamics. It's going to have a lot of projection and be very tumultuous. Now, you can grow through that and learn, but you've got to be focusing on your own healing. How can you fully love, accept, and value yourself right now? That self-image is available to you, and as you become aware of real-time opportunities, situations, the stimulus, the events that are happening in your life right now, how are you interpreting them? Whenever this does come up and you might feel this, you can ask yourself, okay, what story am I telling myself? Okay, the story I'm telling myself is everyone always rejects me, is that I'm not good enough. If I was good enough, this person would treat me different, and I can't see myself different until this. Oh, okay, when did I first feel that? And you can go back to that early on event in your life when you were a kid and maybe you didn't get your needs met. Maybe you tried really, really hard and you were told you got to work for it, you got to earn it, or love is suffering. Whatever the dynamic, you are echoing that. When you become aware of what story that you're putting in here, that's when you can really start to take your authority back, because you're not going to make it dependent on the outside person. That is a dynamic from childhood. You're still waiting with that unresolved emotion that if I can get them to love me, then I'll feel okay. But what you got to do is realize that person doesn't matter. The energy that you're looking for is your own. And when you do that, then you can actually see it echoed in your outside world. Your feeling is what magnetizes what you draw in. So what are you feeding your magnet? Take back your authority by becoming aware of this. What is your self-image now? Become aware of those unconscious dynamics that keep getting replayed. Focus on what self-image you need to have, rather than that outside thing coming in and changing your mind. And become aware of your ABCs. Awareness of the event, breathing, and making that new choice. Doing these three things together can dramatically change your life, because it will change who you are being, and you'll see that being state reflected back to you. If you want a little bit more support on helping you to overcome your limiting beliefs, this video right here is going to break it all down for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. If you haven't done so already, like this video and join this community, and I will see you on the next one.